Hey guys, welcome back to Monetization Mastery. My name is Paul Dutton, and in this video I've got some exciting things to share with you because I'm going to be sharing with you some of my tips and tricks on selecting a great Facebook page and niche. So as you know, in a previous video I was able to demonstrate how I've earned upwards of $650,000 using Facebook in-stream ads, Facebook instant articles and news sites and blogging to further drive that revenue. And these are all pages and things that I created based on passions that I love. So they're hobbies of mine, they're things that I enjoy doing, they are things that I enjoy watching, all sorts of things like that. And that's really important. And I was able to generate such a great following on those pages, and I was able to lead a community by having a very engaged base of audience. In this video, I'm going to take you through my top 5 tricks for selecting the right Facebook page, the idea behind the name, the niche that you want to operate in, and how you can get an engaged follower base too. So without further ado, let's get stuck in. So in at number 5, and definitely not the least important by any stretch of the imagination, is to base your topic, your page, your niche on something that you personally love. Don't go down the road of trying to create something just because you think people are interested in it, because it will turn into a job and not a passion. The idea behind the thinking in this video is that you should be passionate and enjoy what you do with your Facebook pages, because that means you'll enjoy putting videos out there, you'll enjoy writing media and blog articles, and of course you won't find it painful to do because it's something that you enjoy. If you think about some of the most successful business owners in the world, people like Steve Jobs, or the late Steve Jobs rather, of Apple, and Bill Gates of Microsoft, they're really passionate about their companies, the products and services that they offer. And that shows in the size of the organizations today and how much they turn over, which is, are pretty significant. So I'd say if you want to do something and earn a great revenue from it and do it long term, because I would definitely say you want to do this long term because there's some great passive income to be made, then make sure you pick something that you love. It really is important. So on to number 4, and number 4 is to make sure that you research the market. So if you know what page and niche and interesting area that you're going to work in because it's based on a passion you love, you now need to research that market. And it's very important to see what else is out there in the similar niche, because it doesn't necessarily matter that someone else is doing a similar Facebook page or a blogging site or something like that in their area, because you can still be successful when you put your own personality and your own spin into that content that you're producing. So it's definitely worth checking out what else is out there. So like I used an example earlier, but if your passion is fishing, maybe you should have a look at what other fishing Facebook pages or blogging sites are out there that are doing a very similar thing to you, and understand what works. So just having a poke around the Facebook pages and seeing how many views a video is getting and how much engagement is coming from the audience, examining maybe the Facebook titles and the posts, and really just trying to build up a picture of the successful content that works, but more importantly, the content that doesn't work as well, because you will always have this. You'll post a video and it might not quite be as good as you wanted it to, or maybe you didn't get the views or the engagement that you wanted. So finding the sweet spot for your audience is really important. And if they're bought in and invested into the way that you deliver your content, your personality and your videos and your blogging site, articles, then you're going to be successful. But you have to put that research in to find out what works. It's no good just picking that topic and then posting any old video. You still need to know what works and what doesn't work. And there's plenty of evidence of that over the internet. So in at number 3 is considering the theme of the content that you're going to be producing. So we know what we're going to do. We've done some research and we've seen what other pages do. What you should have an idea of now is what is working in videos. So is there funny feel to the videos? Is there serious nature? Is there a lot of skills on show in terms of like video editing and audio sampling and using background music and things like that? How do you want your edit to come together? And that can be really important too, because nobody just wants to watch a really bland video of someone, and there's no information, no supporting pieces coming in on the screen. You haven't got any decent transitions in your video, anything like that, So you really should take time to think about how you want your content to come across and whether you want it to have that comedy feel or that serious feel or that newsworthy feel. It is totally up to you ultimately. But using what you know from other Facebook pages is working, what isn't, based on the success of those videos, the number of comments and likes and things that they have. You should be able to tailor your content and almost take what's been done before and make it even better. And again, that should be your driver. You know, you've got to make the best possible thing out there for the audience, because you need to get the audience to believe that coming to your channel is going to be better than going somewhere else. In at number 2, an extremely important part of any kind of Facebook page, niche, blogging, article, site, anything like that, is a brand name. And the name should be simple. It should explain to the user exactly what it is that you're selling. So that is often the best way to think about something. So if you have an idea and you think there is a unique selling point in that idea, that is definitely what you should try to incorporate into the title of your page or your niche, right? So for example, let's say you're, I don't know, a property investor, right? And let's say you like to teach people how to invest money in properties and then sell them on for a profit. A good name for that might be something like Property Profit or Profit Properties or something like that. Basically encapsulating some really simple naming convention around what you sell as a product and what your brand actually is. And it's really easy to kind of tie those two things together then. It's also very clear to the user who looks at your page what your page is about then. If you create some random name like Bobadook or something like that, you might not know what it is. Now that over time, if that brand was to become successful, eventually people would know what it is. Like Microsoft, for example, you now know what Microsoft is as a product. But when it first started out, Microsoft probably wasn't a great name to describe what they do as a business, because they create Windows software, basically. They create Microsoft Windows and other things like that. So having something that speaks specifically to a particular name or a niche is a really good place to start when it comes to a page name. A more quirky idea to this would be something like, I don't know, let's say you're really good at doing voiceovers and accents, and voiceovers are very common in Facebook pages now, so it could be a good place to get into. And let's say that you also have lots of videos of a couple of dogs, for say, and they do silly things, and you want to put accents and commentary over them to pretend like you're talking like the dogs. A good example of a page name there would be something like Dog Convo, or The Talking Dogs, or Two Talking Dogs, or Two Stupid Dogs, something like that. Just around, again, the topic that's there that you're seeing on the screen, and a name that's immediately relatable, and that will immediately allow an audience to relate your brand to your content, and they'll get more invested in that brand as a result of that. So in at number 1, and most definitely the single most important thing that you need to be successful on Facebook or in a niche or on a blogging site, is you need to have a good brand. And I've jumped in my computer here because I want to show you some examples of good branding, and just to give you some ideas of some thought processes around how branding works and how relatable it is either to content, or how content is relatable to a name or a brand. So I found a few examples on the web, and I've just pulled them up on the screen because I thought it was really good. So this is a website for someone called Fiona Robertson, who does graphic design, obviously, and logos. And there's an example here given, which is called, in her portfolio, which is called Tilly and Tom. And it's a picture of 2 dogs. So I can bet my bottom dollar that this particular brand, unless I'm really misled in its clothing or something, is probably something to do with some dogs or animals or something like that. So if we just scroll down, we can see here, there you go, look, so Tilly and Tom are 2 adorable dogs, keen adventurers, gardeners and storytellers. So again, it's very kind of heartwarming and natural. There's 2 dogs, they're obviously called Tilly and Tom, and somebody's done a logo design called Tilly and Tom, and they've put almost pictures of the dogs. And I don't know whether there's there's a picture of a dog there, maybe that's one of the dogs, not sure. Oh, there you go, look, see, that looks like one of the dogs there, with the patch on his face and stuff. So that looks like Tilly. So they've very quickly picked up on this idea as a designer, and because the page and the channel and the brand would all be around Tilly and Tom, the dogs, then somebody has gone for that name and the picture of 2 dogs. So it's very easy for someone to understand what the page is all around. Another example is Viral Hog. So Viral Hog is an interesting page. So what you might expect from something like this is it's something to do with viral videos, and a hog is a pig or someone who holds on to something. Yeah, and I mean, I've heard of Viral Hog before, but you can see from the way that they've branded it, they've used a kind of a hog and a pig to brand him doing sort of viral videos, and that's what they do. They provide viral videos to different brands, and then the creators of content who use those videos in their brands can be paid and sort of reuse that content to make money out of it effectively. And what they've done here is they've nicely used their logo, and they've also got a slogan: content for brands, cash for creators. So it's always good if you can come up with something quirky that works for that. And I think the quirkiness sometimes helps with a page. Another example here is the Free People clothing brand I came across. I thought the sort of the stylish logo thing was quite interesting. I can't particularly read it. I can see it's an F and a P. And there's obviously a UK brand, so they must have probably other brands somewhere else. But they've used their branding slightly differently. They've used their page as an opportunity to push what they're selling. So they're almost advertising their product at the top of the page, or a certain collection of their product, which is a really clever thing to do. And of course, all over the page, just built in from Facebook features, you've got calls to action: shop now, message me, like our page. Effectively, all of these things are built into Facebook, and you don't really need to brand them. The important piece is this header image at the top, and the name of the page, of course, and obviously any profile picture which might show some kind of logo or something that someone can immediately relate to them that really works. Now, obviously the design of a page and the design of a blog and a niche is down to a specific design, and you probably need to work with a designer to get something that works for you. Lots of affordable designers on lots of websites like peopleperhour.com, upwork.com, fiverr.com, where you can get reasonably priced resources for those kind of things. So I definitely suggest checking that out. If we think about colour in a site, colour has a meaning. There is a psychology behind colour. So if we have a look at this website that I found on the net, it's called Psychology of Colour in Logo Design, and it gives you a colour emotion code. And this is a really cool chart, and I thought it was worth sharing because it actually shows some of the different brands that you may or may not recognise. And they are, you know, pretty reputable names with different colours. So some go for green, you know, peaceful, healthy. Blue instills trust, and you kind of got Facebook and Pfizer and health companies and things like that. And red is excitement, so you've got kind of Netflix, Lego, Nintendo, Coca-Cola, Texaco. You know, there is a method to the colour madness. Make sure that your colours balance to your brand, and your brand reflects what you want to show content-wise in your video, and the rest should just fall nicely in line when you start producing those videos, because people will connect to the content, they'll connect to the brand, and they will make the association and thus grow your brand in essence at the same time. So just in summary, I think we've covered quite a lot there, and those 5 tips are really going to put you in good stead. You know, you've done a lot of research into your brand. You've kind of got an idea of the topic that you want to cover. You've had a look at your editing style and how you want to work. And obviously we've had a look at like the page name and how you want that to come across. And of course the branding, which is really important to get people engaged and coming back and making them feel like you've thought about what you're delivering and that you take pride in what you deliver. And that is really important. So if you adopt those 5 steps, you could, in theory, be as successful as I've been with in-stream ads. You know, the generated revenue I made, upwards of $600,000, is based on exactly these 5 notions. It's finding something that you love and working through it and creating a nice brand around it, and just doing things as cheap as possible, but in a quality enough way for the users to enjoy what you deliver, to enjoy your content and want to come back for more. And that's ultimately the name of the game, is to get people coming back more and more and more to watch your videos. And that is how you will make money, or coming back to your blog sites to read your articles again and again, or to be really invested in what you've got to say and what you offer. And it might be that people are invested in you as a person, or invested specifically in the videos, but that doesn't matter. The point is you can generate revenue from it. So thank you very much for watching the video. As always, please subscribe to the channel, it really helps me. Click the like button on the video to make sure it helps with the YouTube algorithm. Of course, don't forget to select the all notification bell so you don't miss any updates from me. And leave me a comment below. Let me know what kind of things you're thinking about doing with Facebook. And I'm happy to have a conversation about any of that. So please flood the comments with anything you feel is relevant. And yeah, hopefully it was really helpful. I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.